Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead, put the starter back together, took the brushes out, I checked them, cleaned them up a little bit. Now if you were going to actually rebuild this starter, you would have put new brushes inside. The starter on my car has already been replaced with a new one, so this is just for messing around with. So I'm going to go ahead, put the armature back in. There you go. The armature's in. So that was probably the most difficult part of the whole thing. So everything else is somewhat easy. We're going to go ahead and put the nose cone back on. Like I said before, make sure those two tabs are in with the groove. When you put the nose cone on, there's going to be a little tang on the casing that lines up with a hole on this. Make sure you get that lined up, otherwise you'll have a hell of a time getting it back together. So make sure you take your rubber washer, put that back on. There's going to be a little scribed arrow in the casing. That's where your holes for your bolts got to line up. Remember, with the bolt with the stud goes up on the top. bolt in on the bottom. Make sure they're fairly tight, but not too tight. Okay. Take your nut and your washer. Thread that on like that, because you're going to be taking that back off to put that bracket back on. Now for the solenoid. Take your spring, doesn't matter which end. Make sure that sets on that little groove inside there. Take your solenoid. Reinsert your 2 bolts. Once you get those 2 bolts on, you can go ahead and take your screw spacer, put that back on the solenoid. This is what sends voltage into the electric motor for the starter. If you forget to put this in, then the starter won't work. Tighten it back up. And there you go. Your starter's all back together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a battery, wire this up, and then we're going to go ahead and test it. See if it still works. Probably not, but... Alright. Alright, so I got my ground wire hooked up. Here's the power wire. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to see if the solenoid does anything. and then if it does, we'll go ahead and go to the starter. So first we'll go ahead and do the solenoid. That's what it was doing before. Yeah, I think the solenoid shot. Let me try the starter, see what that does. Hold on. Okay, so I got the power wire going to the big stud on the solenoid. So I'm going to jump the two terminals and see what happens here. So, anyway, here we go. Yeah. Yeah. It's shot. Oh well. Just scrap money for me. Alright.